Hello my loves. Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Chào mừng mọi người đến với Personal Belongings, The Rituals, Episode 1. Today, we're gonna pick some cards. One card as a random message for you all. And we're gonna read a chapter of this book, which is my personal favorite. We have Manara deck over here and also Romance Angel Oracles. Today is gonna be about love. Actually, it's all gonna be about love. Ooh. 6 of Water. Sorry, I have to cover her butt. Message for my fans, for the one who are watching. A message. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. And let's go hand in hand. So basically, these two cards is saying, okay, let me cover her butt. This is something familiar, something soft, something sweet, and it's been there for a while already. Could be an ex, could be somebody you already know, but never get to like romantically connect. And one of you or both of you could be fantasizing, visualizing about the romance between you two, how it could happen. But it is still a passive card, you know. It's 6 of Water. See, she's looking at this creature. I don't know what it is. From a distance, right? And this is calling in your soulmate. It's all about prayers and affirmations and visualizations. So none of this means action yet, but it is a seed that could be bloom soon, I feel. Think about two people like having a crush on each other and never recognize it. It's giving that aura right now. Yeah. Next chapter we have As a Man Thinketh. Chapter 1. Thought and character. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself that transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. Thought and character. The aphorism, as a man thinketh, in his heart, so is he, not only embraces the whole of a man's being, but is so comprehensive that it reaches out to every condition and circumstance of his life. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. As the plant springs form and could not be without the seed, so every act of a man springs from the hidden seeds of thought, and could not have appeared without them. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated as to those which are deliberately executed. It is very important what you think act is a blossom of thought, and joy and suffering are its fruits. Thus does a man garner in the sweet and bitter fruitage of his own husbandry. Thought in the mind hath made us what we are. By thought was wrought and built. If a man's mind hath evil thoughts, pain comes on him as comes the wheel behind the ox. If one endures in purity of thought, joy follows him as his own shadow sure. It is a little poem. So basically, the thought make the mind. And what you think of joy, joy will come to you. You think of evil, evil will come to you. Basically what it says here. Man is a growth by law, and not a creation by artifice, and cause and effect is as absolute and undeviating in the hidden realm of thought as in the world of visible and material things. A noble and godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but it's the natural result of continual effort in right thinking. The effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts, an ignoble and bestial character, by the same process, is the result of the continual harboring of groveling thoughts. Yes. You are the master of your fate. Man is made or unmade by himself. In the armory of thought, he forges the weapons by which he destroys himself. He also fashions the tools with which he builds for himself heavenly mansions of joy and strength and peace. By the right choice and true application of thought, man ascends to the divine perfection. By the abuse and wrong application of thought, he descends below the level of the beast. Between these two extremes are all the grades of character, and man is their maker and master. Of all the beautiful truths pertaining to the soul which have been restored and brought to light in this age, none is more gladdening or fruitful of divine promise and confidence than this, that man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and the shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. I actually think it's a little bit condescending somehow. Like, because think of struggling people, there's a war going on. Like, I'm completely aware, right? But then also I believe highly in, they say, why do bad things happen to good people? And I think that bad things happen to everybody. But people who are good chose to do good by it and not get affected by whatever bad happens to them, and that's what makes them good. Okay, continue. As a being of power, intelligence, and love, and the Lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation and contains within himself that transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. Man is always the master, even in his weaker and most abandoned state, but in his weakness and degradation, he is the foolish master who misgoverns his household. When he begins to reflect upon his condition and to research diligently for the law upon which his being is established, he then becomes the wise master, directing his energies with intelligence and fashioning his thoughts to fruitful issues. Such is the conscious master, And man can only thus become by discovering within himself the law of thought, which discovery is totally a matter of application, self-analysis, and experience. Right here, I think what he's trying to say is whatever situation you are in, you are always given the ability to choose. You are the master. Even in his weaker and most abandoned state, you will always have the ability to choose, and that must not be taken away by anyone, not even you. Seek and you shall find. Only by much searching and mining are gold and diamonds obtained, and man can find every truth connected with his being, if he will dig deep into the mind of his soul, and that he is the maker of his character, and molder of his life, and the builder of his destiny. He may unerringly prove, if he will watch, control, and alter his thoughts, tracing their effects upon himself, upon others, and upon his life and circumstances, linking cause and effect by patient practice and investigation, and utilizing his every experience, even to the most trivial everyday occurrence, as a means of obtaining that knowledge of himself, which is understanding, wisdom, and power. In this direction, as in no other, is the law absolute, that he that seeketh find, and to him that knocks it shall be opened. For only by patient practice and ceaseless importunity, for only by patience, practice, and ceaseless importunity can a man enter the door of the temple of knowledge. So, what does it mean? It means that you should always be curious. Be curious. Practice a principle of thoughts. There's this bullshit of meditation that is going on around lately about empty your mind, and that is just a nonsense. I don't believe in that. My mind is never empty. Nobody's mind should be empty unless you're dying. But anyway, I strongly believe that you should categorize and pay attention to what you think, and really spend time. When you meditate, it's like spending time to observe your mind, observe how you think, what you think, observe how you approach to a problem, observe how you respond to a problem that is going on in your mind. You have to spend time on the matter. You have to be bored a little bit, is what I strongly believe you should do. Everybody should do. And also, also at the same time, leave room for curiosity and change. The permanent thing about people, we are always changing. So always be curious. Dig deep into your thoughts. Don't create paradox though. You are what you think. And that is all for today. Thank you so much. Stay tuned.